Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to the continuation of our Ashramic approach work. Have a little change of pace for us today. To look quite closely at meditation number 7, which is one that, actually we haven't done a lot of meditating together using DK's meditations, and I want to begin to bring that in, I suppose, on a day when the moon is in Gemini. That's maybe a good thing to do. Let me just check and see how everybody's doing here. Make sure that we're all on board. And okay, Bianca, nice to have you back. Glad you could be with us again here, and welcome to you.
Hi.
Hi to you, and welcome to you. And Elena, hi. Okay.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, Elena, welcome to you. And Eva, hello.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone.
Okay, nice to see you here. And Jeff, good morning. All right.
Thanks. Hi, Michael. Hello.
What time is it in there where you are in New Zealand?
It's 8 a.m.
No, that's not too bad. Not well. Okay.
No,
all right.
Great.
Very good. All right. Very good. Good to see you, and Leah, a good earlier morning to you.
Yes. Good morning, Michael.
Good
morning, everyone. It's 6 a.m. here.
Yeah.
And we're having our first nippy, chilly winter morning.
Oh wow. Okay. I guess we do experience the globe together. Okay, and welcome to you, Leonie. How you doing?
Good morning, Michael. Yes, yesterday Queensland was hoping to see snowfall, but it didn't happen, so they're going out again. It's so unusual.
Yeah, okay, well, things are changing. So anyway, I'm glad you could be here. And Michael, hi, good afternoon. How you doing?
Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone.
Okay, welcome to you, Michael. And Sam, hi, how are you?
Hello to everyone.
Okay, Sam, welcome to you. And Sheldon and or Helena, hi, Sheldon.
Hello, Michael. Hello, everyone. Good to be with you.
Hi, Sheldon. We're going to probably have that same issue with the headphones. You might be better off just with the computer.
I'll work on it.
Your voice is clearer with just the computer and not these headphones. They have a lot of static. But anyway, hi and welcome to you. Terry, hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Nice to be with you.
Okay, glad you're here, Terry. Good evening to you. And Victor, good afternoon. Hi, and welcome.
Hi there, everyone.
Okay, glad you could join us. And we have, as usual, we have, maybe we have more. We have Biel and Brett and Joe and Kay, all here to back us up. And thank you very much for being here. Loyal staff. Okay. Well, look, friends, I thought let's try something here, a little different. We still have a bit more, our book, in a way, for this group is very much Discipleship in the New Age, Volume 2. It is that manual for initiation and has so much to do with the real approach to the ashram. Not that we want to leave out Dinah 1, but we want to act as if we want to pretend. Let's see, Tuya should be here too, but I don't see her. Anyway, we should pretend at least that we are with DK in the same way that he was instructing his students at the time. And I'm going to send that to her one more time. She's in another part of the house, and all right. So we want to act as if we are receiving the same kind of instruction and can act upon it. It's a good way to bridge into the future work that DK will, according to his word, unless we've really screwed things up, begin offering in another 10 years or so. And who knows how long that third installment will go on and what it will contain, but I think that for people such as we are, that third installment will be very important, and I can't imagine that we will not be involved in it. So anyway, this is a little bit about Meditation 7. We can just read a little bit here. Not that we will ignore the earlier ones, but maybe this one is perhaps not much done by disciples, and I've been meaning for us to have a try at it for quite a time. He says, 6 meditations have already been given to you, culminating in the meditation on the Great Invocation. How closely you have followed this last meditation, I know not. My attention has been occupied with many vital matters and also with the effort to render futile a series of attacks upon the hierarchy. These are being engineered in various parts of the world by spurious claimants to world discipleship. I guess they pretend they are third-degree initiates. They claim they are that, and they confuse the issue and mislead. They were mainly aimed at AAB, and she could have absorbed them, as she frequently has done in the past, had it not been for the direct line of attack on my ashram. Okay, so obviously something has been cut out there. It would be interesting to see what. As I have told you, my ashram, and to a lesser extent that of KH, have felt some of the repercussions, and AAB has been unable to deflect all of it. I have had, therefore, to do some protective work that is now finished, and so I'm somewhat freer. I think it's very interesting, don't you think, this kind of vigilance that is required, because the ashrams, at least in their external manifestation, are not free from these dangers. So I suppose we could investigate more about that, but that's just kind of the background a little bit. Anybody have anything you want to say about that paragraph? Okay, Jeff, go ahead, please. And then Elena, yeah. Jeff.
Well, I suppose these attacks are continuing on, aren't they?
Yeah, the text would continue on, yes, it does. And it continues on with the seventh meditation, but about whatever those attacks were, he doesn't. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, these attacks.
Yeah.
These attacks will continue on.
Oh, they continue. They continue, and they're done by the attempt to water down and offer glamorous substitutions for the work, and bringing into discredit the important representatives. I guess Alice Bailey had a lot of that aimed at her. And sure, they do continue. And then, of course, I do remember that Master Moria said that when the heart is really open, it protects against obsession and the so-called dark whisperers and all of that, So there's so much that wants to see the Bailey books put down to the lowest shelf or put on the highest shelf above your reach, and they don't seem to have the kind of centrality they had back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and so forth. We have a lot of work to do, and 10 years remaining. And frankly, we represent a kind of spirituality which is demanding, and which a lot of people just don't want to get into because the glamorous solutions flatter them and don't require much work. You can question even. There's a very popular teaching out now. It's called The Nature of the Soul, and I think it has some good things in it. I think it began right after Alice Bailey died. It began around 1951, 52, and made all kinds of claims, and continues to do that, and continues to attract many people, because supposedly Master R is the one who has given this teaching. Of course, he was the utmost expert in the English language, and you would, the fact that everything had to be edited, immediately puts things in question. So there's all kinds of promises made to aspirants, and all kinds of speciality that is predicated of them. You are the custodians, the only custodians of the true teaching in the Aquarian Age, and Shambhala's moving to Estes Park, Colorado, and, all kinds of stuff. And it's just amazing how otherwise intelligent people and pretty solid aspirants dive right into that stuff, Anyway, I have friends that are members of it, and I respect them, they're sincere, and it's just what they think is real. That's all. But anyway, it's still going on, like you say. And I would say that in the next 10 years, since they're so crucial, it's going to intensify. That's my guess. DK warned, he said a funny thing, and it's not so funny when you think about it. He says, some of you may even be persecuted in your homes, he said. Whoa, okay, what does he mean by that? Well, when you look at how the world is kind of, the fanaticism of certain groups, you can see how it could happen. Yep. Anything else, Jeff?
No, that'll do.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Eleanor, please go ahead.
Well, you see where those dots are going?
Yeah.
After my ashram?
Yeah.
Well, there is unpublished text which I have.
Eleanor.
Which I am not going to quote. But I just want to say that the DK goes into more details into what kind of attack in relation to RSU.
Okay, I'll tell you what, friends. As we prove our what can I say? Our steadfastness in these matters, we can take into consideration some of these things, but it really is dangerous business, and one has to be extremely sure of where one stands. Let's just put it like this: what I'm familiar with had a lot to do with the Jewish group, with Israel, with groups that were pursuing DK because he was supposedly anti-Semitic and all that. That's absolutely not the stuff that can be let out into the world, and people have proven very untrustworthy in the matter of they get papers in their hands, and the next thing you know, it's all over the internet, and this would be terrible. So we just have to really get very solid with ourselves, and then we can deal with a few of these things. And that's all I want to say about it right now. Usually the ... is the choice of the editor of the Alice Bailey work, what to include, what not to include. Just so happens that the major editor was RSU, who was the person who was involved in this thing, So it's a bit of like a cult gossip and all that, but suffice it to say, it was enough to force some discontinuance of DK's work. Anyway, he did some protective work.
It was interesting that how direct he was when he was telling her that.
Yeah, well, we'll get into it, group, but we have to be very, as they say in Masonry, the lodge has to be very closely tiled. Some of this stuff cannot get out. Cannot. At least it would bring a huge attack on the Bailey work. Okay. So anyway, Victor, go ahead, please. Yeah, just unmute yourself. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. Okay.
Lost you.
I said.
There's some kind of intermittency going on there. All right, let's try and hear you again. Try and hear you again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Arian, he had received from to invite to the group, and then he was one of the disciples.
Victor, I'm going to have to stop you here.
10 of them, I think it was.
I'm going to have to stop you.
For the protection.
Is anybody having trouble hearing Victor, or is it just me?
I couldn't hear him. It was very broken up.
Yeah, he's breaking up. Michael, he's breaking up, and it reminds me of what happens with my computer when I'm presenting. There is not enough, the down speed is too slow.
Yeah. Victor, I'm so sorry, but what's happening is that there are 3-second pauses between your words. So it's not coming through. Do you know your download speed? Or maybe even your upload speed in this case? Have you gone to test my net?
I don't know.
Oh, well, now I just heard you well. Try again.
I said
No.
No.
It's not working, Victor, so we're not going to be able to hear what you say. But you know what? I'm so sorry about that. But look, go to test my... Brett, what is it? Testmy.net? Is that how it goes?
Yes, it is.
Testmy.net. And find out what kind of upload speed you have. Testmy.net.
Yeah. TESTMY.NET.
Yeah, okay. See what that is, because if it is not 1 megabyte, at least, you're going to have to figure out how to get it to be that. But in the past, I haven't, when you've spoken, I feel I've heard you. So I wonder if there's just some special condition going on here. Anyways, so sorry, Victor, but that's where we are at the moment. Now let's just go on with it. And if you want to write something, you can, and then Brett or Joe or K or BL, can tell what it is. So you can put that in the chat box if you like. All right, look, let's go on with this. I plan to give you the 7th and last meditation, and with these 7 outline meditations, you will have plenty of work to do for the remainder of this incarnation. That's something we all like to quote, right? Because it somehow indicates how important these 7 meditations are, and in a way, it doesn't mean that now that it's 7 years later that we're not in that kind of flow of importance. The ones hitherto given are all planned and sequentially related to each other. The first one started with the heart, as must all divine expression and all true creative work. Interesting. Next, the factor of energy was considered, and the 7 points of energy reception were noted. Then followed an exercise on alignment, so that the structure or the setup, if I may use such a word, of the inner spiritual man might be correctly oriented and aligned, and thus present no obstacle to the inflow of divine energy. These 3 meditations are of major importance, but quite elementary, but yet they are the foundation for us, and probably none of us has completely mastered them. They had, however, to precede any meditation and its subsequent effects that was in any way related to my ashram, as was the next. A meditation on certain theme words, as they embodied an idea, was then given. That's number 5. The meditation was totally different to the preceding 3 in its emphasis, which now has no relation to the disciple, as had the earlier 3, at least, no individual personal relation. They related almost entirely to preparatory work for Ashramic service, and that we can remember. Preparatory work for Ashramic service. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, we're going to go on and get into meditation 7 here. I'll just finish this introduction and we can comment on it, and then there are other things to be said. The first definite act of this type of service, Ashramic service, was embodied for you in the 6th meditation, in which the group was given the task, or rather the spiritual enterprise, of launching the great invocation. I'm going to make this a little bigger, this idea of Ashramic service. Okay. Let me just check this out here. Okay. The magnitude of this task you have never realized, and you have done little of a truly objective nature to bring this invocation to the attention of the public. 3 of you have done a great deal, the rest little or nothing at all. I guess he knows. Now I will outline for you a meditation which is not easy for you to do, but which symbolizes both the vertical and the horizontal life of the disciple. This meditation is again built up around certain words, esoterically understood. So, is there anybody who would like to make any comment about what we have just reviewed? I'm sorry I have these numbers here. I was planning to write commentary on this one, and I never got to it. So I'll get all that under. Okay. Anything you want to say about this last part of the introduction? Notice that the first 3 meditations really focus on the microcosm, and then the attention is taken away from the microcosm, and the last 2 meditations are specifically about Ashramic service. And meditations 4 and 5 also do not have an emphasis upon the individual, but they prepare the person for the acts of service that meditation 6 gave. Anything here you want to look at? I don't want to leave anybody out if you have your hand raised, so I'm looking closely. Well, okay. What I thought we could do is actually do this together. And then there's a section at the end of this little document that I have where he actually goes into what he wanted to do with this meditation. So I think, for tonight, it'll be quite enough to do this meditation, have a little report on it for each other, and then go to the section where he explains what his objectives are. Now, I don't, I know this is largely a discussion group, but I've also been meaning to get together some sort of meditational possibility for us, more than just the little alignments that we've been doing, which are good for a discussion group, but may not follow what DK has proposed for us as these being of value for the rest of our life. Okay, anybody want to say anything before we begin? Okay then, here we go. So, we are here acting as if we are members of Master DK's ashram, a training ashram, in which many different ray and monadic types find their possibilities. And we think of each other and merge with each other on the plane of higher mind as much as we are able to conceive and feel that merging. And we are not personalities at this point. In our own mind's eye. Rather, we are part of a soul group. And our truer body of expression is the causal body. It's maybe a different way of thinking of ourselves, but very important. And so in personality we may be, thousands of miles apparently separated, but on the plane of soul we are a growing unity. In fact, we are a unity, but we're slowly realizing that unity. So with that kind of relationship with each other, we can proceed. We affirm earnestly our discipleship, and we endeavor as a group and individually and as a group to link up with Master DK as the master of the ashram. And we say the great invocation. Let us emphasize the first stanza, dwelling on it a little longer, its significance a little longer than on the others. So I'll speak it aloud. You can speak it at home if you wish, but we'll pause a little longer on the first stanza at this time. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. And going on, from the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. This meditation will be then built up around 8 words, which you can arrange in your consciousness in the following manner. God, matter, method, achievement. We can see that this is a kind of representation of the cardinal cross. Not that it has to be tied specifically to Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, but it does occupy those places. God, matter, method, and achievement. So we're going to ponder on these for a little while, and we'll go on to the next cross that he gives us. This is just preliminary. So the cross is before your eyes, and however you wish to approach this contemplation. And in a way you might be well advised to, as it were, place yourself or the group in the center of the cross. And realize that all of these factors must be yours. You must relate to them in a particular way. We may remember in the Virgo mantram a related thought. I am the mother and the child, I God, I matter, am. We'll now move our consideration This is, of course, just preliminary. We will move our consideration now to the next cross. The cross we've just looked at concerns our vertical life, says the Tibetan. And now we have the St. Andrew's cross, which can be recognized as intersecting on the zodiac at the 15-degree points of the fixed signs. But we don't need to carry that too far. Compared to God, matter, method, and achievement, we have now unity, understanding, goodwill, and expression. Or unity, goodwill, understanding, and expression, depending on how you want to approach. So, in your own way, bring these into your consideration, and at some point place yourself in the center of this X cross. And of course, it would be well to memorize the look of these crosses and the words. Unity, goodwill, understanding, expression. Or unity, understanding, goodwill, and expression. And this cross, he tells us, concerns our horizontal life. And we might ask ourselves, why is this so compared to the first cross? God, matter, method, achievement. And I suppose we will ask ourselves if there's any kind of preferred sequence in which to arrange these 8 items. It's maybe too much for right now, but one will want to question this. The mode of your application of all this must be related to your daily life expression. And at some point you, the incarnated soul, must realize the factual nature of your dual life of discipleship. This the superimposed crosses show. So you can visualize all the 8 directing words in their appropriate place. Maybe practice going around clockwise or counterclockwise and see if you can visualize them. And think about your own dual life of discipleship and whether it's really clear to you, to us, what we're doing along that line. And to what extent are we standing at the center of this superimposed diagram, familiar, participating in, relating to these 8 directing words? If any one of them is missing or weak, our dual life of discipleship will not be properly executed. He tells us, as we're considering now our vertical and horizontal life, to note how one vertical line supports the other lines in many cases, but that no horizontal lines do this. God, matter, method, achievement, understanding, goodwill, unity, expression. How we revolve, which way we revolve, this will depend upon our understanding. And there's so much to ponder here. And so, as I've been suggesting, DK says, take your stand at the point where all the lines meet and endeavor to realize yourself as the one at the center, radiating throughout your most definitely defined ring pass not. Take your stand at the point where all the lines meet. Endeavor to realize yourself as the one at the center, radiating throughout your most definitely planned or definitely defined ring pass not. So here's the image. Standing at the center, we have a ring pass not. We are participating in God, matter, method, achievement, understanding, goodwill, unity, and expression. So defining how you relate to each of these factors is your individual task, and of course there's a group task here, as we can place the group at the center of the eightfold superimposition. And the group two must be or have a balanced, eventually balanced relationship to these factors, which allow the group to live the dual life of discipleship. This is just introductory. Then we're going to sound the Om at your own rhythm 7 times inaudibly, and you can determine what your thought will be. maybe we have to realize that there are a sevenfold vibration going forth from the jewel and the lotus, and sometimes we can relate the number 8 to that radiation. So this is meditation meant for our Ashramic inclusion, and it's related to one of the formulas, my brother, he says, brother of old, and you would find it of value to contrast what is said. So, to which one of the formulas, we can ponder that. Okay. Now, I realize many of us have done this meditation, and when we were working in the Moria section, so to speak, there was a time when we came to the doing of this meditation, but we were reporting individually, and I think we didn't get all of the group dynamic we might have gotten if we were working together in the manner we are now working together. So I'll ask if there's anybody that would like to say anything. I realize, in a way, this is the first time we've done this as a group, and I think we can sense what a powerful, potentially powerful meditation this can be. So, would anybody like to say anything about this? You're most welcome. I'll look for your hands. Or any of the staff, I can't see. Yeah.
I'll start, Michael.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's me, BL.
BL, yeah.
I remember, of course, doing this before, and so every time I look at it, I think of the insight that I got before, and it just reinforces it for me. Initially I had thought of the first cross as the method of achievement to raise matter back to God.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I always saw the two axes as two sides of the same problem coming together at the hub.
Mm-hmm.
And I initially thought of it as the vertical life to God, meaning evolution, that was accomplished through the horizontal life of service through group achievement. But that was actually thinking of the one cross as both the vertical and the horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you looked at the second cross, the horizontal life, as DK gave it to us, that was the method of achieving the second part. In other words, that they were working together, and you do that through the unity of understanding and the expression of goodwill. I have always only superimposed it on top of each other as he gave us those words. I wondered how come his picture, when he gave it to us, didn't have those words in it, but then the way you presented it here, it was more like we could actually rearrange the words in whatever fashion.
Well, we could, the method of progression from one to another, I don't know that I would change their position on the cross, but the method of moving from one to another, and then maybe having all simultaneously at a certain point, could be up to the individual, I would think.
Yeah. And I never really thought of myself as being the hub of the two crosses superimposed, but I did think of myself as being, to some extent, the hub of each of the crosses individually. Naturally, the hub of the St. Andrew's cross more so than the other one, because the full integration of the first cross is fully back to the Father in my
Monumental,
mind.
monumental.
So, right. So, but I do think of the first one more so as being that group achievement, the method of achievement of that group activity of service, and the second one as the method of going about doing that, like I said, through the unity of understanding and the expression of the goodwill.
Yes, I'm sure we all have our reasons for working from one of these words to another. And obviously, a synthesis of the whole thing is what is required. And he does tell us, even when studying the cardinal fixed immutable crosses, that we have to learn how to take our position at the center of each of those crosses, and eventually probably all the 12, and become the complete zodiacal synthesis. Now whether we want to make a zodiacal case out of this, I don't know. Certainly what is suggested is the cardinal of the fixed cross, not so much the mutable cross, but I think it stands on its own.
Well, it does suggest, I think the second one suggests both the fixed and the mutable, because I think that unity and understanding goes with the fixed, but I actually think that the expression of goodwill kind of goes with the mutable, because to me that seems more like Gemini and Sagittarius.